pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Jenny, would you please take the roll? Austriaco? Here. Fessler? Here. Collins? Here. Coyle? Here. Lee?
Here.
Sullivan? Owen?
Here. We will start tonight with 207's Best Award for Technology Leader and Innovator. And first up is Marina, Maine West.
You know what, my student is not here yet.
Okay.
I know she's on her way, so.
We can wait. Mike, are you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Maine East.
Hi, everybody. I am very pleased to introduce to you Mansoor Syed, our District 207. Leader and innovator. So if you, first thing I was kind of going through this and we had an email exchange over break. And I realized that his signature block on his email pretty elegantly just sort of listed all of the reasons, or many of the reasons that he's here. Simply lists his name: Maine Township High School East, Chrome Depot intern, Technology Department technician intern, Tech Genius president. He's JV and varsity tennis manager, Merck president. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. Sci-Fi executive vice president, and an election judge, but there's much, much more. Review of his transcript is going to show that he's got a very, very strong, respectable GPA. He's taken accelerated AP and dual credit classes throughout, and specifically sort of in the area of business and technology. Started with computer programming in his freshman year, took AP Computer Science A as a sophomore, was in Virtual Enterprises International last year as a junior, was very successful. And this year is in taking cybersecurity. A couple of things that I would mention. He describes himself as having been raised in a traditional and pretty strict Asian family, teaching him always to do his best. He explained that during his freshman year, it was necessary for the family to travel back to Pakistan for the entire third quarter of the year. And not surprisingly, when he came back for fourth quarter, he was failing everything. By the end of the year, he managed to pull everything, I think, short of one class up to an A, which was the reason that he was not on high honor roll that one semester, first semester and every other since he's been there. Also had some other instances because of family circumstances where he's had to miss some school, but again, has been incredibly responsible in communicating with his teachers, his counselor, and this incredible work ethic to the point that there's really been no blip on the radar at all in the last year and a half of some of these other conditions. And he said simply giving up for him is not an option. He takes as many tries as he needs in order to get a concept correct, and clearly that works. In addition to strong academic performance and his commitment to honor his family, he's found time to be active in the co- and extracurricular life of Maine East High School. So I mentioned Merck, which is the Maine East Recreational Club. He's the founder and president, member of National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta. He's been an active Rotary Interactor for 4 years. As I mentioned, manager, member of JV and varsity tennis, executive vice president and later president of our Tech Genius Club, where he's been active all 4 years. Been active in robotics, has been an assistant building computer technician, being responsible for setting up Chromebooks, getting teacher computers and things set up, doing a lot of the work, and last but not least, ping pong club. In terms of Merck, it's the Maine East Recreation Club. He actually describes as being probably his most meaningful achievement based on his vision, the initiative, and the perseverance that it took to create and promote the organization. Students gather every couple of weeks after school. They play games, compete in various tournaments, and just kind of casually hang out. Basically, Mansoor stated that the experience taught him how to be more responsible, how to manage his time, to understand how deadlines should be worked toward, and how to move a large group of students towards a common goal. Currently, there are about 50 members of the club. John Schwan has been a mentor, role model, very influential adult in Mansoor's life. And John said, as a teacher, I've been privileged to recommend many deserving Maine East students for college admission scholarships. As I reflect on these exceptional young women and men, they all displayed academic and personal character traits that allowed them to be effective students. Some were well organized, some were creative, some were strong academically. Mansoor, however, is different from many of these students. He truly represents the total package. Mansour is one of those student leaders who bring a blend of technical skills, creativity, organization, and high intelligence, combined with an energy level that is unmatched. Mansour is a former member of the Capstone Business IT Virtual Enterprise class. This class, he was one of my best ever students. The class is taken by students that have a serious interest in majoring in business or information technology at the college level. As a result, I've become very familiar with Mansour's academic skills, his character, as well as how he relates to his fellow students. VEI is an experiential class taught around the world where students create and manage a global online business in the classroom. Mansour interviewed for the Chief Information Technology position with VEI's Board of Directors, which is composed of successful industry executives who volunteer their time to guide the students in this innovative class. The board selected Mansour as the IT chief due to his extraordinary technology, leadership, and communication skills, with several board members commenting that he displayed a technical problem-solving thought process during the interview that would benefit any technology business. He went on to lead its IT department to national and international prominence through the VEI competitions, and VEI recognized a mobile app, a website, and a social media strategy that Mansour and his team created as exemplary compared to others produced by students in over 5,000 VE classes taught worldwide. This year, Mansour gave his time to mentor the new VEI IT team. Apparently, none of the current members had used Firebase technology in the development of a website or a mobile app. He provided in-depth guidance, resulting in a first-place finish at this year's VEI Great Lake Regional Trade Show for the team. In addition to excelling my classroom, John said Mansour has used his skills to make Maine East a better place for students, staff, and the community. Another really significant bit of his work had to do with the District 207 Education Foundation, which had a website that I think was developed on somebody's very colorful Macintosh computer back before the turn of the current century, maybe. And they realized that they really needed some help. So I actually got wonderful letters from Sandy Dinas, Scott Williams, both of whom are here, and Carolyn Eulich, who is not able to be here. I think Carolyn sort of surmised what I got from everybody, and she worded this really nicely. So last spring, Scott Williams had been asked to sit in on John's VEI class to give students feedback on their presentations. Scott was blown away by these kids and suggested to the Foundation Board of Trustees that we could possibly ask John if he could recommend a few students to help us rebuild our website page by page. We had an existing Google site that wasn't being regularly updated and was really only used for our benefit dinners. John introduced us to Mansour and two of his student colleagues. We met with 3 students during a regular class time, told them about our site, how we struggled to update it, and that we were looking for help. They were receptive and seemed excited about the prospect of working on updating our site. Mansour soon became the lead website guy. He was awesome. All caps, multiple exclamation points. We had no idea what we needed and how to do it, so the students slowly guided us into what they would need to do to make our site more up to date. I think we met them at least once a week for a month to go through page by page of what we wanted our site to look like. They gave us homework and we turned it back so that they could produce a finished product. The few things that impressed me so much about Mansour was his gentle personality, his responsiveness, and his overall enthusiasm to help us figure this out. If we didn't have answers about the site, he would help us find out. He worked with Google and a few of the district tech guys, and most importantly, he worked with us during the summer months to get this done. Mansour was the constant in all this work. In fact, this year we were looking for more help to add things to our site for anniversary dinner. We called on Mansour, who responded quickly, and enlisted the assistance of another student to help. The 2 of them met with us after school 2 times to get our benefit invitation and payment online. I cannot tell you how much this experience has meant to me. I've been volunteering with my kids' school districts for years, and part of that is to be involved in my children's educational journey and to meet their peer group. Maine East has some terrific kids. I cannot tell you how impressed I've been with Mansour and his dedication and work ethic during this whole process. He's a great reflection of Maine East and District 207 in general. Our future is bright with students like Mansour. Many teachers, all were consistent in terms of describing him as upbeat, positive, diligent, capable, terrific student, tech genius, human being who possesses a work ethic that is truly admirable. Jen Conlon said, Mansour is understated. He's the guy who can fix the LCD projector, the glitches in the classroom computer, with a smile as easily. He can make a meaningful contribution to an AP comparative government politics class. everyone commented that he's their personal IT guy, which makes me think we're in big trouble after he graduates. But clearly, he's just done a tremendous amount. He is surely set to be very successful in whatever he pursues, and we honor you and thank you for your work. Congratulations. Who's here with you tonight?
So first of all, I would like to thank everyone for coming here. With me today is my dad, my mom, my sister, my aunt, my cousin, and my cousin-in-law. Not only that, but we've also have 2 members from the foundation, Educational Foundation, which I've worked with deeply. I really appreciate that you guys came here tonight. And for me, that's it.
What are your plans next year?
So for next year, I plan on pursuing a degree in computer engineering. I might switch it up to like computer science, something with technology. Though I've been planning on going into a computer-related field, and I've actually been thinking about creating a business with a few of my friends. Other than that, I've been looking at quite a few colleges to go to.
All right. Congratulations.
Now Maine West.
Maine West is honored to recognize Jessica Rito as one of 207's best in the area of technology and innovation. If you can Steve Jobs defined innovation as the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. Jessica embraces learning, change, and innovation with amazing drive and passion. She transferred to Maine West her freshman year from Chicago Public Schools. Since that time, her counselor, Ms. Adams, has seen Jessica transform from being shy and timid to determined and highly engaged with both her peers and teachers. According to Ms. Adams, Jessica never gives up on her coursework. No matter how difficult, she is never threatened. Rather, she continues to embrace the opportunity to take tough courses. She's encouraging, positive, and always wants to help others. Jessica credits her mom for her inspiration and drive. She explains, "My mom is from Ecuador and had to drop out of school early on to work. Whenever I learn, whatever I learn, I teach her as well. My education is not only mine, it's for my whole family." Jessica describes fixing things from VCRs to blenders. She has put together IKEA furniture, and since taking autos class, she even works on the family car. "My goal is for all of us to be independent," she says. Ms. Michaels had Jessica in math class both as a sophomore in a junior level course and as a senior. She recognizes and appreciates Jessica's drive and passion. Ms. Michaels explains, "Jessica's has experienced her share of challenges both personally and academically, yet always puts forth her best effort. She's not afraid to try something new, nor does she worry about trying something different. She's passionate about promoting females in STEM fields and has applied for many summer opportunities offered at colleges and universities in this area. She has taken classes that are primarily male-dominated without hesitation and drives herself to be her very best. Jessica exemplifies what it means to be a warrior. She regularly demonstrates the characteristics of maturity, integrity, and perseverance. She understands the benefit of challenging herself and inspiring others to do so as well. Through her interest in fields traditionally dominated by males, Jessica became intrigued by organizations like Girls Who Code and Built by Girls. She was so inspired that she teamed with a friend to create her own organization, SWISE, the Society of Women in Space Explorations. It began as a website and a Twitter account, and their organization is now active on 24 college campuses, including colleges in China, Puerto Rico, and India. Each group plans their own campus events to target women in science and space exploration. The next step is to build a professional chapter, and Jessica was so excited to share that Google and NASA have already expressed interest. Jessica's interest in technology, coding in particular, has inspired her to travel from Boston to California to compete in hackathons. These events present an authentic problem students set out to solve. Here at Maine West, Jessica is busy in organizations as well. Included on her accomplished list are Auto Club, Hispanic Club, Keep Club, Math Team, Model UN, Math Honor Society, National Honor Society, Science Honor Society, Skills USA, Spanish Club, and Student Council. Jessica's candidacy for 207's Best was first recognized by her Project Lead the Way teacher, Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson met Jessica as a sophomore. She quickly became one of the top students in his Project Lead the Way class. This year, Jessica has been actively involved in both his 3D Innovations Club and Autos Club. She's currently the president of both of those organizations. Mr. Peterson remarks, Jessica's kindness and willingness to help in and out of the classroom sets her apart from the average student. She's tenacious when it comes to learning and balances a crazy school, work, and social schedule. Jessica admits she's intrigued by autos. She loves the challenge each project brings and the fact that she doesn't have the background knowledge to start with. Each step of the project feels like the unveiling of something new and different. It presents her with the perfect opportunity for innovation. Jessica has noticed that she doesn't see enough students of color in some of her higher level courses at Maine West. When she personally comes across someone who wants to apply themselves at a higher level, she springs into action with motivation and support. She believes that all most students need is a one-to-one connection. She welcomes being that spark. She believes that her science teacher, Ms. Riken, noted Jessica doing this in action. Jessica's a wonderful young lady who is always super helpful. When I have technology issues, kind of like your students, Jessica always hops to my defense. Additionally, we had a new student to Maine West join our class in February. Jessica insisted that the new student be her partner, and she has been instrumental in helping that student catch up and feel welcome. It is truly a privilege to work with Jessica. Ms. McCluskey and Mr. Galanis also find Jessica an inspiration to her peers. According to Ms. McCluskey, Jessica is definitely one of my top senior leaders, capital T-O-P, in physical education. She's always early to class and takes the initiative by asking what she can do to help. She sets up activities, keeps students on task, and demonstrates leadership with confidence and positivity. The students respect her. She gives them constructive feedback, and I appreciate her suggestions to help my classroom get better. Mr. Galanis taught Jessica in Spanish 3 as a sophomore, and currently has her in Spanish 5 AP. He describes Jessica as hardworking, determined, and self-driven to improve herself in Spanish. He remarks, Jessica has unlimited potential. In addition, we enjoy when she shares bits of her cultural and family traditions with the rest of the class. As a person, she's kind, well-respected by her peers, and always displays that same good-natured attitude. She's truly a pleasure to be around. Mr. Tabano, her English AP teacher, and Ms. Parsiak, social science, have noticed Jessica's ability to connect her learning to real life. Mr. Tabano shares, I am always amazed by Jessica's prowess in absorbing documentary films and applying real-world scenarios and situations that transcend challenging literary concepts to the real world we experience. Ms. Parsiak adds, Jessica has only been in my class since January, but it became immediately evident that she's a phenomenal young woman. She's just a natural leader. She's always lighthearted and connects what we're learning in social science to the real world. She has applied to some pretty prestigious universities, and any one of them would be lucky to have her. This fall, Jessica won a Latino Summit College Scholarship in which she competed against students from more than 12 high schools. As a Hispanic Club leader, she is instrumental in planning acts and receiving donations for their largest fundraiser, the annual Posada Days. Hispanic Club sponsor, Ms. Garrix, identifies Jessica as a great example for our Latino students in that she works hard in school, has responsibilities at home with her family, and has high expectations for herself. Jessica has lived some real-life experiences that many students may have not. She loves persuading students to try coding and other innovative projects because she knows what it was like to be overlooked or to have limited resources. She has set her goals high, as she would someday like to open her own tech firm. First, however, she will need to decide which of the prestigious universities she has applied for will set her on that path. I think when we last spoke, Brown was at the top of her list, but we'll see what she says. Everyone who meets Jessica describes her as driven, passionate, and kind. Being driven is not the same as being passionate. Passion is the love of the journey, but drive is the desire to reach the destination. Wherever her journey takes her, Jessica's drive will ensure a high level of success. In addition, her kindness and compassion will allow all around her to benefit from her success. As Jessica mentioned, her education is not just her own. It's a special gift to all of us who cross her path. You know, as an interim principal, Jessica, I don't have the luxury of working with students for 4 years like my counterparts here, but I have to tell you, I was so inspired by meeting you that I've thought about you so often and told so many people about you, and I know I've even connected you with my daughter. So they're going to be working together on a project this summer at IMC Financial Traders in the city. So Jessica will have an opportunity to work with some traders, one of whom was a Maine West and Northwestern grad. So I think that'll be a cool experience I'd love to hear about. But I'm so proud to have her today. Introduce who you brought with you and let us know about your future.
Well, I brought my mom. So this is the lady who gives me the motivation every day to come to school. Yeah, so like said in the story, my mom really didn't have the opportunity to go to school. She had to leave at 3rd grade. So her Spanish isn't the best, her English isn't the best. But you know, we work it out together, half and half, we make a whole. So we get our way, and I've always been very blessed to have a mom who has such an amazing story. So that really helps me every day. And for the future, currently I'm still uncommitted. I'll commit soon, I promise, but I'm figuring out the works and seeing perhaps if I don't go to college this year due to financial issues, I'll take a gap year and be an intern at Microsoft, hopefully, which I have an interview for next month.
Okay. Last but not least, Maine South.
Sure. This month, Maine South would like to acknowledge Violet Kaminsky. Violet, you come up. So as I was meeting Violet and getting to know her better for this evening, one of the things that becomes incredibly evident the second you get to talk to her is how much she loves to learn. And she said that that drive has been instilled from her parents because of how supportive they've been throughout her entire life and her high school experience, and the nature of which they've been a great love in her life because they've allowed her to go her own way and go her own path. So she's been really appreciative of that. There's a couple of stories in here that I think are pretty amazing. So Violet is really into engineering. She loves engineering, she loves architecture, and I think about maybe 3 weeks ago, I was actually in Violet's class, and I was talking about the construction process that we have at South, surprised, and as I was describing it, Violet said, well, I'll just create a 3D image for you. I was like, oh, great. So that's what she's working on right now in her class as part of her project. And then last year when she was in advanced CAD, she happened to enter into a national contest. There's 900 schools that enter into this contest. And so there's multiple different categories that you can submit something to. So she made a digital model of a Chicago bungalow. So she finished that part of the process, and I think most every other person in the room would say, I'm good. Not Violet. Violet's like, I still have some time, the deadline hasn't come yet. So then she went and submitted another physical model of that same bungalow. But out of 900 students and other schools who entered, she received second prize for the physical model, and then her digital model received honorable mention, which I think is pretty amazing. She's taken all of our engineering, all of our architecture, all of our technology courses, CEA, Intro to Engineering, you name it. She also has CAD certification. She is also our softball pitcher, pitching 21 out of 23 games last year when they won regionals. She's a member of NHS, Key Club, an Illinois State Scholar, a member of Spanish Club. She's a yearbook editor and a student of the year in AP Physics and Accelerated Chemistry, so she's done it all. Violet's English 3 and yearbook advisor, Dr. Richard Jones, says, I had the pleasure of teaching Violet Kaminsky in English 3 last year, and I found her to be among my strongest English 3 students ever. Also, Violet is currently a member of my yearbook staff. She is a delight to have in class, and her perspective, focused, and stoic nature is one of great prowess. She is also from a different era. That is, that she's never on her smartphone and always attentive. She is quick to answer questions. She is a generous participator in small groups. She shows leadership as well. and she took the lead on 2 major projects from their small groups and picked up the slack from her fellow students. Violet's AP Macro and Microeconomics teacher, Miss Rachel Santucci, says, "I couldn't be happier that Violet is being recognized. She has a positive personality with incredible self-discipline. She is genuine in her kindness and a pleasure to see every day. Her work ethic is to be admired. She truly is a leader in her class. For good reason, she is favored by all her peers. Violet is reliable, enthusiastic, and always finds the patience to help a classmate in need." And when I sent the email out asking for correspondence from the teachers, Mrs. Santucci immediately replied to me and just said, "Yes!" She was so excited. Mr. T.J. Kraus, Violet's project lead the way in civil engineering and architecture, teacher says, "Violet is an outstanding role model for other students. Her work is always top-notch. She is polite and works well with others. It is a pleasure to have her in CEA this year. I expect we'll be hearing great things about her in the future." Ms. Kendra O'Hallahan, Violet's accelerated chemistry teacher, says, "In accelerated chemistry, Violet proved to have a very analytical and scientific mind, earning the Science Honors Award at the end of her sophomore year. She is without a doubt one of the most mature, conscientious, and driven students I've ever had the pleasure to teach in recent years. Violet sets high expectations for herself and does all that it takes to meet them. She is talented both academically and athletically and well-rounded in every sense of the word. Violet sets an example for other students not only through her work ethic and successes, but through her compassionate and kind-hearted demeanor. What a worthy recipient of this award." Mrs. Erin Grimm, Violet's AP Calculus BC teacher, says, "Violet is a positive, dedicated, and engaged student. She takes advantage of every learning opportunity and does not waver in effort or sense of purpose. She has excellent reasoning skills and confidently puts them to use when navigating new and challenging situations. Violet displays curiosity, interest, and enjoyment in her learning." And finally, we actually had her intern site supervisor, Mr. Chris Burke, say, "Violet is an exceptional, well above average high school intern. She has demonstrated a very high level of technical and analytical aptitude. Violet exceeded expectations in every category of her internship evaluation. Due to this internship, I know that Violet wants to explore engineering moving forward. She had this internship at this firm, which is, I believe, in Rosemont, where you worked with local municipalities to kind of map out and plan, their projects. So I got a chance to first see Violet last year when she was pitching in the playoffs with the softball team. But everybody that talks about you, Violet, always says how kind you are, how gracious you are, and just how motivated you are with your learning. So we're really looking forward to you designing all of the high school projects you're doing. But I definitely think this is a perfect example of some of her internship pieces and how she really latched onto a passion of hers and got a chance to work with real things in the world. And it's just such an amazing opportunity for you, and really an honor for us to say that we knew you when you were here at Maine South and in District 207. Congratulations. And who's with you tonight?
Both my parents are, so there's my dad, Al Kaminsky, and then my mom, Pat Kaminsky, and they both just helped me, just encouraged me to do my best, but then more recently, coming through my senior and junior year, they're just like, you need to slow down and stop working all the time. And, even if it's just for fun, designing something in Revit or CAD to help my parents out, like modeling some flow chart or something, they say you need to stop doing that.
Yeah, you have like the chores on the... And what are you thinking about doing next year?
I'm gonna major in civil engineering and a minor in actuarial sciences, and I've been accepted into University of Washington, IIT, and Rhodes College and Seattle Pacific University, but I haven't decided.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Superintendent who's got a couple of awards that he also would like to give out.
Yeah, we're going to mix it up just a little bit tonight, so I'm going to ask you to indulge me and stick around just for a few minutes. But it's going to be a variation on the theme tonight, which is our career experiences that was really illustrated by each of the students tonight. Got a
another student that we're giving an award to tonight who submitted a film into the One Earth Film Festival in the college division. Senior Jackie Sepulveda. Would you stand up, Jackie, here? Jackie is a senior at Maine. You can say stand up. I'm talking. Jackie is a senior at Maine West High School, and it has become a really talented filmmaker in her own right. But continuing the theme, she's also been an internship for us in the district, helping us create digital content for the last few years. I featured her in a couple of presentations. She may get featured later tonight in a presentation. And I just want to say thank you and congratulations for the really good work. The title of her submission is an important title, Insecticides in Our Environment, and it was a 5-minute film where Jackie used charts, photos, illustrations to show the dangers of pesticide use and why stronger and stronger chemicals are needed in a vicious pesticide-resistant cycle. It's actually a really important topic that has tremendous implications, not only in this country, but around the world. So she didn't just do any little video project. She did something that was incredibly meaningful, incredibly authentic, in an area of passion and interest for her. So Jackie, tell us a little bit about who's with you tonight and what your plans are moving forward.
Yeah, so I brought my mom with me. This is Maria. Moving into the future, my mom has always been there to push me, and she kind of pushed me to look at this little scholarship thing that popped up, but also to like follow my passions. And for me, that's meteorology, which is like the study of weather, which is how I initially got into the film like aspect at Maine West, because I saw the green screen, and initially I was like, ooh, weather, green screen makes sense. So I joined the TV course, and it just kind of lighted this new passion inside me for not only film making, but also film editing. And when I saw this one opportunity to just take my passion and put it towards science and informing others about the environment, I just jumped on it. I've been very excited to be a part of it.
All right, well, congratulations to you. Thank you. We're not done yet. So the next group of young ladies that I want to introduce is from Maine West High School, and they had kind of a good year. They managed to finish 35-0, one of the few undefeated state champions. And so I'm giving an award to Coach DeMarnay tonight, but it's really an award for the team, and then Coach is going to introduce some of the players and talk about what's going on with them. I know Rachel's going to St. Louis, and some of the other young ladies are going other places, and of course Angela and the rest of the returners, we've got to talk about how you're going to repeat next year. So setting a big expectation. So Coach DeMarnay, I think Jared knows this. What's her 3-year record?
95-6.
I knew he'd know it. 95-6. And
30-0 in the CSL.
30-0 in the CSL. So Coach DeMarnay has done a wonderful job. Congratulations, and that's it. So you knew you had it the whole time.
Well, so we finished the regular season 28-0, and we knew going into the tournament that we still had that target on our back, that every single game, everyone wanted to be the one to knock us off. So, we started regionals. We managed to blow through regionals pretty easily. Sectionals then were a little bit different story with Glenbrook South. We really didn't get rolling until the second half, but we ended up winning that one. And then we got to the sectional final against Evanston, went into overtime, which was our closest game of the year. But they were relentless, pulled it out at the end, of course. They ended up winning by 5, so I could breathe a little easier, I suppose. Super sectionals then, Lake Forest, they came out firing, took care of business right away. And then when they got on the bus to go downstate, they had a different mindset. So last year we went downstate. They did a great job last year downstate, also finished 3rd last year. But this year when we got on the bus, we were like, many of them said, this is a business trip, Coach. Last year we had fun, but this year we're going for business. With every intention of going down and bringing back the trophy. they wanted number 1. And the first game, they came out just demolished Hononegah. I hope they're not watching this.
Also, High School District 207.
Yes. And then, you know, the championship game, Mother McCauley, you know, started maybe a little slower than we like to start, but they were relentless. They did not back down at all and ended up taking the state championship 35-0, which, you know, for this, in this area is quite an accomplishment. There's some fabulous teams around here. So I just thought I'd introduce these girls to you. There's such great, you know, students here, and then we've got some athletes just who just exemplify 207.
Could you please stand up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
stand up.
as I introduce them, I guess they can, if you want to, well, let's start with Angela. So Angela Dugalich, she is recruited all over the country right now, has not committed, but she will shortly. Brianna Hernandez. She hasn't committed yet either. Mr. Jared Kirchner, of course. Mia Bunyao, sophomore. She's still free if anybody is there. Melissa Gomez, one of our coaches, Jeannie Cummings, another coach, Maine West grad, Brian Aloisio. Evan Ravens, another one of our coaches, he's at Maine East, but coaches with us at Maine West. Dylan Bentley, I'm sure you heard her name a few times. Sarah Magnoni, she's committed to play soccer at SIU Edwardsville. Vanessa Reyes, has not committed yet, but could basketball or soccer. So both of these, or all 3 of these, or all 4 of these, for the back ones, have just come from playing soccer. So they're also on varsity soccer. So I've got a couple others on JV soccer that are in Londonderry tonight also. James, yeah. Ellie Centella, make sure I don't miss anybody. Ellie Centella, I don't know if I can say where you've committed yet. Have you? Will be committing soon to play basketball. Lena Albo, she's a junior, has not committed. Jocelyn Jacob, badminton and basketball, probably Elmhurst. So we can't really say that yet. Rachel Gorsica has not committed, of course. And then Rachel Kent has committed to St. Louis University. I also have Bob Neal, he's our personal security. And then Mary Danielle.
Coach and Jared, I know Jared knows the answer, but Coach, you do too. Team GPA?
3.7.
Okay. Okay. We're not done yet. And I know, you know, Coach, wonderful job. It's been just amazing to watch the West team. What is really impressive is just the effort, the intensity of the effort. And that's one of those things, you know, sometimes your shot goes in, sometimes it doesn't, but your efforts can always be there. And it's really something that is evident throughout the team. So that'll take you a long way in this world.
A lot of their shots went in.
And a lot of So, one more award, and then we're actually going to have a presentation tonight about our internship program. So, because so many of the students awarded tonight really were about that. And the last award that I'm going to give before we turn it over to our career coordinators is an award for a person who has helped us for 12 years make this happen. If tonight illustrates anything, it illustrates how important leveling the playing field in public education is. You've seen just a tremendous number of students in here with compelling backgrounds, and we're privileged to get to see them literally every month in this room. Similar stories to what you heard tonight. You would think, well, this is an outlier event tonight. It's actually not. Every month we hear similar stories like we heard tonight. And the recent news in what happens in higher ed really illustrates that, you know, it is a tilted playing field. And to hear one of our students tonight uncertain about whether she can even economically go on to school, it illustrates for me the drive and the passion that we've got to really try to level the playing field, to try to do a better job for our kids. So everything that we do from a design element, everything is predicated on the experiences that these kids get, the mentoring that they get, the internships that they get, the quality teaching and care that they get to prepare our kids, whoever they are, wherever they came from, to be the most successful they can be in life. We have one goal here, and that's it. None of that happens without the people at this table. And I think that's a piece of school business that people just don't really understand until you have to live it. We can't do the hard things. We can't make the changes. We can't evolve practice. We can't do things differently that have been done in a certain place for decades, the way we've always done it. We can't do different things without living through the dissonance of doing those different things. And as a superintendent, you don't live through that dissonance unless you have a Board of Education of smart, ethical people who have courage, who understand our why. Plenty of boards have great ideas and want to do great things, but they turn around at the first chance when there's some dissonance. Our board has stayed the course, and because of that, the things that you hear, the experiences that you hear from our students, and designed in a way that does not happen. We are literally inventing how this work is done. And I mean literally inventing how the work is done. And we're doing it for the reasons that have been illustrated here tonight. So my last award tonight, before I turn it over to our career coordinators, is to someone who